Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Subject to Change is here, and I'm in my studio kind of thing. It's coming together, and we got a great episode. We're hitting milestones all over the place on this podcast. Last week, we brought on a rapper, which we had never done before. Sada Baby was nuts, loved it. And now today, we got a huge announcement because our guest, Skyy Clark, is making his college decision tomorrow, which is when you're going to hear this. And this episode overall is just amazing. Tom, what's going on? Nice shirt, by the way. Really like that overtime shirt.
Thank you, bro. I like your death row shirt too. You're I like how you're forming a background. You're starting to get a little studio action. I gotta start adding some art too. I'm doing well. People are never gonna see this, but like 30 seconds before this podcast start every time, like Jordan says something ridiculous to me, and then I'm laughing during the intro. So I apologize for anyone watching the video version of this. I just want to get into this first to start off the pod before we get into real sports. You had photo day yesterday, and I'm a big fan of college athletes on photo day. There's a certain type of athlete who posts on that day on their Instagram and stuff, and you were one of them. Take me through, like, what's college photo shoot day for you? This is what, your third one?
Look, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's my third photo day, and I've recently been like trying to find the cliche trends of like college athletes and try to stay away from them. But doing the little like selfie video mode and like just panning around the gym with your jersey on for the first time, it's hard to resist. And I fell into the trap and I did it. Okay. So yeah, we had photo day yesterday. I put a little oil. I did a couple push-ups, got a little
Wait, no, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Did someone ask you to, or was that a you decision?
That was a me decision. Sue me. I want to look good. Okay.
No, I get it. I was asking. Wait, I have a question about the looking good thing. Last week you were telling me about your haircut and how perfect it was. But then you had photo day yesterday. Did you get another haircut in the span of 5 days?
I did. I got a haircut. But look, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for my teammate. So Emmett Matthews texted me the night before we had.
He's so funny.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great. But anyways, his hair is like his staple, and he's got to have a clean like temp fade with his like curly long hair. And he hit me up and he said, because there's this guy, shout out to my guy Derek, who cuts me here in Morgantown. He doesn't even have a shop. Like he just cuts like on the side or whatever. And Emmett texted me, he's like, yo, I need a cut. Can Derek, swing through or whatever? And I was like, yeah, I'll text him. And Derek's like, yeah, I can pull up. You want me to just pull up to your place? I said, yeah, that works. Emmett got in the chair. I was like, nah, I just got cut 4 days ago, D. I'm good, whatever. And then Emmett got out, and I was like, you may as well clean me back up. So, yeah, we got it retouched. All right, made a TikTok. It is what it is,
Oh, I haven't seen the TikTok yet. I did see the Instagram post. You're making fun of the hair on your legs? Is that a thing that you do?
Yeah, I have the hairiest legs probably known to mankind.
Are you going to wear leggings this year?
No, why? My hair is my leggings.
You wear what? You wear like the 3/4?
Yeah, a little 3/4 action. But now that was more to hide. Like in high school, I was real self-conscious about my leg hair. So I would like try to hide it. But now it's just more of you just embrace it. Like I'm like a werewolf pretty much when it comes to leg hair. So Hugs always makes fun of me about it too. And I'm like, I don't know.
Any fun stories from there with the freshmen being weird? Were they nervous?
No, all of our friends, you would think this is like the end of the world day for any freshman. I was the same way. Picture day, like you're trying to show everybody back home that you've been like actually consistently lifting weights, right? You got your earrings in and the chains. I don't know where people are getting Cuban links from, but all of a sudden all our teammates got Cuban links and they're wearing them in the pictures. I'm like, yo, I got 2 chains from Pagoda, one from my grandma, one from my aunt that I wear, but they're like $25 a piece. So not a Cuban link, but we're getting there, I
had 2 separate people text me and say, no, go ahead.
What did they say, Tom?
They said, Jordan McCabe has tattoos. And I was like, yeah, you haven't watched the podcast every episode?
Damn.
I think you could really
maybe they're just listening. let's go benefit of the doubt that they're just they're like an audio type person in the car,
Yeah,
and they just don't watch it specific. Everybody's listening at some point. Everybody loves subject to change, right? Right.
100%.
Tom, this just a quick random thought before we actually start getting into some things here. You know what you do look like, and I think with the whole the blank background, you look like you're like a hostage almost. You know what I mean? Like this is a hostage video. You give me those kind of vibes with the blank wall, like nobody's supposed to know where you are. It's real weird. Sometimes you look really sad, and I'm just like, yo, you know what I mean? You get that? You see that?
One, I'm kind of going for that. So like it's good to know that people like you feel that vibe coming through. Like Sad Boy Tom, I think is a thing I can get accustomed to. But you guys gotta give me until January 1st. I'm gonna move into my new apartment January 1st. I will make this look a lot better then. But I'm stuck at home. I'm in my sister's bedroom right now.
That's tough.
It's not good.
That's tough. That's tough. Oh man, anything crazy happened to you this week? Anything you want to?
Yeah. Okay. So like I just briefly mentioned how I'm a sad kid and how I hate that I'm in this small bedroom. But you know what I hate more than that, Jordan? And this is all I want to talk to you about because I feel like you're either really gonna understand it or you're just gonna be dumb and not get it. I hate bikers, and I don't mean motorcycle people. I hate like the people that take their bike, like the one that you rode when you're like 4 years old and your parents taught you how to do that. Doing it in the main road. And I'm not talking about like the city. Like I live in New York City usually, and like people have to bike there. It's madness there. Do whatever you want. I don't care if you walk on your hands there. I don't care what you do. Unicycle it, whatever. But here in like, I'm kind of like a more woodsy suburban area right now. Biking on the main road where it's like thin, like really tight quarters, when there's a million bike paths around here, I can't stand them. And then if you go near them, they get mad at you. Have you ever experienced this?
I've experienced it, and there's a certain type of human that does it, and they have. I know what you're saying. It's like I truly believe, and this may be because I have it a little bit, but guys that bike in the middle of the road and purposely like try to keep up with cars, they have this thing that's called little man syndrome, right? They're generally shorter guys, okay, like myself, and we just feel the need to like just constantly be proving shit that doesn't need to be proved. Like you're on a bike, it's not motorized. I'm in a car, I'm gonna go faster, and if we hit each other, I'm gonna win. Just go on the sidewalk. It's there for a reason. We even have a bike lane. The worst is when they don't go on the sidewalk, they don't go on the bike lane. They just literally want to be part of traffic. And then they do the stupid hand signals like I know what the hell's going on.
How the hell would I know what that means?
And it's going to take them a minute and a half to take a left through this four-way intersection, like this big intersection that you want to pull up into the left turn lane. You don't have a blinker. Tom, for once in your entire life, completely agree with you. I do.
Like, they expect me to like risk my life and potentially drive in the other lane and like hit another car. It's like I'm way more likely to be down to hit a human than another car just for like my own safety. And I'm not selfish. I'm just like, I don't know. I like to think I'm worth something, and like me sticking around here is a good thing for everyone.
Yeah, no doubt, Tom.
So yeah. So once this podcast blows up, I'm getting into the bike lawmaking business, and people want to know who you voting for president. Whoever fixes the bike laws, that's who I'm voting for president.
Oh my God, that might be a write-in election or a vote. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to write somebody in for that. Somebody who's really big on bike policy. I don't know if I heard any of that in either debate, to be honest. But let's get into this. You heard about the Space Jam 2, the plot line that just came out. Did you see that?
A little bit. Here's my thing. Space Jam 1 is my favorite movie ever. Like Michael Jordan, the whole thing. I grew up on that. For me, at overtime, if you remember the first when he goes to dunk in his driveway as a little kid and they start his mixtape of shit like flashbacks, I think that's the first basketball mixtape ever made correctly. And then overtime, I like to think that it foreshadowed my whole entire life. So I've been trying to stay away from the Space Jam 2 stuff because I feel like it might not live up to it, and I don't want to believe that that's possible. What do you think about it?
My initial thoughts after kind of reading through the script I don't think it's going to be good. Do you think LeBron's a good actor? He's the greatest basketball player in the world right now, hands down, bar none. But when it comes to acting, come on now. Like you got to actually know what you're doing. Like, are you going to be impressed? Do you think you're going to be impressed coming out of that movie saying like, yeah, LeBron can actually act, like he's got a shot to do this even after he's done playing?
So it's different than the MJ thing. I think MJ like seriously probably made himself think that he was playing against the Monstars and it was a real game and he wasn't acting. Like that was real MJ being like, "Come on, Bugs, let's go."
Right.
With LeBron, he's definitely acting. He was good in Trainwreck, that movie Trainwreck, where it's like a rom-com type thing. He's in there.
Let me get. Did he have like a cameo for like 4 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he's like he's like cheap. Like his best friend is a doctor and he makes him pay for stuff and he like gives him girl advice. And LeBron did great there. And he's amazing on The Shop, which isn't acting, it's more like them talking. Right. I think he's gonna be good. Yeah. I mean, he's good at everything. He's LeBron James. Just not good at late game free throws.
Yikes. Did you see that that Bronny's not playing his son?
Yeah. This was a weird one for me. Like, so MJ's kids didn't play MJ's kids in the first one, but like Bronny feels like the type of kid who would be awesome in a movie. Like he's probably a better actor than LeBron, if I had to guess.
And to be honest, with Bronny and his image right now, and you know the following he has, think about how easily it would be to tap into that younger generation of kids to have this be their like OG Space Jam who follow Bronny and him saying, "I'm going to be in, you know, Space Jam 2." You don't think all these little kids are going to go watch it? 100%. 100%.
And then Bronny eventually is the star of Space Jam 3.
That's a hell of a storyline right there. That's a movie in itself.
But it is interesting. The person playing Bronny is like he's a stud high school football player, like one of the best football players in the country who's going to college. Which I thought was interesting. You had a theory on why Bronny can't play himself, right?
That's funny that you say that he's a football player because that completely removes him from basketball. And the story I have that goes along with this, at first I was like, why isn't Bronny playing it? I don't get it. Whatever. Should be, you know, no issue. But then I remembered when I was like 11, right, doing all that Ellen stuff and had braces and a buzz cut and just looked like a goofball dribbling around like a little circus clown, right? When I was that, I had an offer to do a movie for Pistol Pete and a movie like Hot Rod Hundley. They were creating this movie. Sonny Vaccaro was involved and stuff like that. And my dad was obviously in the moment like, yeah, that'd be sweet. And it was something that I was interested in. And then all of a sudden it got shut down completely. And my dad was like, no, we can't even, you know, even discuss it. It's not an option. Absolutely not. They said, you can do the movie, and they being the NCAA, you can do the movie, but then you're not eligible to play college basketball because it's basketball related. It's that name, image, likeness thing that might, fingers crossed, you know, be fixed here this year. But yeah, I couldn't do a movie when I was 11 just off the potential that I might play in the NCAA, which looking now, thank God I didn't. Otherwise I would have been, you know, completely out of options, which is a crazy rule, I think, and very stupid. You know, Bronny should definitely be able to play Bron's son in the movie, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, the Bronny thing for me, like, look, guys, he has a lot of money. Like, he's not like taking benefits that are like changing his life. I don't think
he has a reason to do that. Like, he doesn't need a slush fund, the, you know, Mercedes or Maserati. Like, Pops can get 4 in different colors if you really want them. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we really bugging over this? Let the kid play his son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, who knows if he wanted to? I would love to know that one day. His wife in the movie is not also Savannah, so it was probably a family thing. I'm sure there's smart reasons behind it. But I looked below that and had more of the cast on there, and I realized the starting 5 for the Monstars on there. It's a pretty good squad. Let me read it off for you. So they've got. We'll start from best to worst, or best to not as good. So Anthony Davis is in it. Everyone.
Well, you just put that on yourself. So go ahead. Best to worst. Here we go.
Okay. There's no arguing with this. Anthony Davis is first. And then the next 3 are pretty even. We got Dame Lillard, which is your guy. CP3, legend. Klay Thompson, amazing. I was surprised Klay was in it, to be honest. Like with all the times they battled, I didn't realize that they were close like that. And then to finish off, we got Kyle Kuzma in the 5th spot on the Monstars for this second one.
Spoken like a true Lakers fan, putting Kuzma at the end of the bench there. Unbelievable.
So it's a good crew, obviously. Are you excited to see any of these guys act for the first time, as far as I'm concerned? I mean, CP3's got a lot of commercials.
Anthony Davis, I'm super intrigued at him in a movie because he just strikes me as like the most, I don't know, outgoing, bordering the line of a little suspect at times. I know everybody's seen the video of him at Kentucky in the locker room. I don't know what was going on right there or what has happened, but I mean, the dude is hilarious. He's got personality. He's funny. He's outgoing. So I'm interested to see, him in there, but I don't know. I've heard people compare the Space Jam 1 to Space Jam 2, like Monstars lineup. Do you know who was all in that original one?
Yeah, Monstars lineup 1, it's Charles Barkley, who was like the stud. Then Muggsy Bogues, super small legend. How tall is he? 5'3", I think. Then you had Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley's like 7'7", I think. Patrick Ewing, obviously a legend, and then Larry Johnson, who had like a great few years where he was an absolute stud also. So yeah, the question is which Monstars team would win? I think you have legends on the first one with Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley. Yeah, Patrick Ewing, our producer Spencer just said Patrick Ewing was an awful actor. That is true. Shout out to Patrick Ewing. But so you kind of have like Barkley and Ewing, and then you have against AD, Klay, CP3, Lillard. I don't know. I want to say the first group wins. Sean Bradley is the best.
You think first group wins?
Probably. They put up a really good fight against MJ.
Who's guarding AD?
Patrick Ewing or Charles Barkley or Sean Bradley.
I mean, in prime, maybe, but back then, I mean, anybody over 6 foot, 10 wasn't even allowed to leave the paint. I think it was part of the rule book. I mean,
well, the problem is they don't have their powers in the movie, so actually it'd probably be a pretty bad game.
They don't have their powers. Yeah, I
guess.
Their
powers get taken away, Jordan.
It's funny. It's funny that you said who'd you say was a bad actor, Sean Bradley or Patrick Ewing?
Patrick Ewing was not great.
They were both awful.
Okay, out of the new lineup though, my vote for who I think is going to be awful is Kyle Kuzma, and it's a surprise because Kyle Kuzma is very younger generation. He's super outgoing. He's got all these like Puma deals, and he's in the media all the time. But I feel like he's like the young one in there too, and he's gonna try to just go super over the. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he might overdo it.
He's the freshman at the photo shoot,
or he could kill it. Yeah, super geeked. Yeah. Got his Cuban link on. He's screaming at cameras. Yeah, no, Bron's gonna be like, all right, Kyle, you gotta tone it down. You do realize that this is my movie. Let's just take it easy.
When you run it through, it's. What are you pulling up something? Wait. Spencer, are you gonna ruin the first Space Jam for me?
Can you hear it? Can you see me?
Yeah,
I can see you.
I can't see me. It doesn't matter, dude. The person who's going to be the worst actor is Klay Thompson.
No, I was just gonna say.
Have you seen that man do an interview? He's the dumbest athlete I've ever seen in my life. At least Dame is a professional musician,
and he's cool.
CP3 does tons of commercials. He's been in the spotlight. Kuzma has the swag. AD is just gonna kind of be there, I think. But Klay, no way.
Klay Thompson he's not the goofiest or the dumbest. He is the most laid back, chill. He is just with the Coors Light. You remember the interview with the Coors Light? He's sitting there looking at people, just taking a couple swags, looking at he's got swag. He's tough. I love Klay Thompson. He is not going to be over the top. He's going to play the just cool, calm, and collected, and he's going to kill it. I think he's going to be good in it.
No, I think he's going to be an absolute legend as well. So 2 versus 1, Spencer, you lose. Spence, who do you have winning the game, old versus new?
Oh, the new guys will run them out. Who's going to guard Dame and Clay just shooting threes the whole time?
You clearly never saw Muggsy Bogues lock up.
They didn't even have a three
score on Muggsy Bogues.
Well, I guess we'll see. And we'll be back here when that does happen, and we will make sure to do a movie rundown because that's what we're qualified to do. We are just a Swiss Army knife over here, okay? And one of those things in that little thing is a movie critic, and that's what we're going to be. What I think is going to be an abysmal movie in Space Jam 2 because the plot sucks.
I think it's going to be good. It's going to be great. I can't wait. It won't be as good as 1, but it'll be close.
You know who they should have had in there is Duncan Robinson.
Or LaMelo Ball.
Shut up.
If you're not going to get Bronny, at least get LaMelo.
Dude, he's not played a game in the league. You know who has played games in the league? Duncan Robinson. And you know who's the most bullied person in the NBA? Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson.
And he doesn't deserve it. He's had to fight. He went from D3 to the NBA. And now he has to deal with what? Elementary bullying from JaVale McGee and J.R. Smith, who didn't even know he was on the Lakers, but he was just there. He thought he was just helping LeBron out, just chilling at the end of the bench, making fun of Duncan Robinson. They called the man Jimmy Neutron, which is accurate.
The whole Miami Heat squad has some cartoon characters in them. Didn't your boy Tyler Hero, doesn't he get called a character as well?
Yeah, not cartoon though. Who did they compared him to 11 off of Stranger Things, and there's a video of Ty. There is a picture of Ty. Back literally, this was the year or two that me and him played side by side, and they pull up this picture, and I just remember every time he would go off, it would be either like the Celtics just got their ass whooped by 11 from Stranger Things. Kuzma got his girl snatched by 11 from Stranger Things. The memes were just outrageous. And the side-by-side, it's pretty accurate at the time. Tyler doesn't look like 11 anymore, but that I can imagine he thought it was funny as well because I thought it was hilarious.
Jimmy, you can be called worse things than Jimmy Neutron. I mean, that's it's one of those things that's I think if someone said that to me when he was if they were saying it to him when he was playing, right? Like the guys on the bench, he had to laugh every time, or at least the first time, not even be mad, just be like, that is hilariously amazing.
Oh, yeah. I think Duncan would smile. I think he's a good enough dude to just smile and laugh that one off because that's hilarious.
Here's a tough thing for Duncan Robinson real quick. And this, I've heard people talking about it this week. This happens. He was amazing and everyone was appreciating him. And now people are saying that he's a better player than Klay or a better shooter than Klay Thompson. And now people are starting to hate him. And he didn't do anything wrong. But now he's got the Jimmy Neutron thing. People are comparing him to Klay. I love Duncan Robinson. Klay Thompson is on a whole nother level, probably for me at least. Poor Duncan.
Hey, I mean, not poor Duncan. I think he's going to be just fine and everything's going to work out. But hey, that's part of leveling up in the league, man. People start comparing you to superstars, to future Hall of Famers, which Klay Thompson is. And, you either sink or swim. So excited to see what he does with that. But yeah, I know people kind of take it and run with it and then create animosity towards a guy who, come on, Duncan Robinson, he's getting compared to Jimmy Neutron. You think he's really doing anything to make anybody not like him? He seems like a pretty likable dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that is what it is.
Yeah, I like him. I also love Jimmy Neutron.
All right. Well, see, this is that part in the episode where Tom just forgets that he's doing a podcast. I'm trying to let him, freestyle, do a little this or that. Where's the gabagoo? Shout out to TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And then he doesn't do anything. He sits there and he goes into back into hostage mode and just stares blankly at this camera with a weird blank wall behind him.
Well, I didn't know if you want to talk about LaMelo or not.
You want to talk about LaMelo before we bring Skyy on? Let's do it. What's going on with LaMelo? Because I know you know.
So the Timberwolves president today, he came out and he said that there's no clear consensus number one pick in the upcoming draft. There's guys like LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, but there's no one that's jumped to the top. And you know where I land. You know where I stay.
No. Before you do that, let's be honest. You think there's a clear-cut number one in this draft? I don't think so.
How many times do I have to freaking say this before you know that I think there's a clear consensus number one pick?
I was just hoping you would be rational for one second. You actually think that LaMelo is the clear-cut, far and away, a guy who didn't even play in the NCAA. I know what he did overseas, and I know how big that is, but you're going to say he's clear-cut over Wiseman, over Edwards, over RJ, over all these guys. He's clear-cut, far and away, the number one pick. That's what you're telling me. Even in Minnesota, you got to think about where he's ending up.
100% he is a clear-cut number one pick. And this is why. Even if you don't believe that if you don't believe any of them are clear cut, that's even more of a reason why LaMelo is the clear cut, because he has the most upside. He could potentially change your whole entire franchise. Where like, if you're like, hey, Anthony Edwards is 100% going to be like a 10-time All-Star, then I would be like, okay, like I can't really argue that LaMelo will definitely be better than that. But since no one's saying that, it's like at least LaMelo has the upside to potentially get there and do more. The Wiseman thing's tough. I think Wiseman and a lot of these guys, Vernon Carey, Onyeka, Jaden McDaniels, a lot of these guys are getting a little bit screwed in that, like, the era they're growing up in. Like, Wiseman has to prove he can shoot before he's, like, definitely going to be a great player in the NBA.
Not in the Warriors system, he doesn't. They got enough shooters. Wiseman goes to the Warriors. The Warriors win a championship in either next year or the year after that. You can book it. Put the house on it.
The Warriors, apparently they might trade that pick and Wiggins for Bradley Beal, which I don't get.
I don't know.
How many shooters do you need?
I don't know.
I think Wiseman's a perfect fit for them. But so for me, you obviously know who I am. So you're saying you don't know who the clear consensus number one pick is?
No, and it's no disrespect to this draft class. The draft class is just very good. You know, it's very
well,
I think, you know, for the first time in a long time, I don't think we've had a clear-cut number one guy. And that's okay. You know, Anthony Edwards could 100% go to Minnesota. I think he's a good fit. LaMelo, it may be. I think he definitely can fit wherever you plug him because he's so versatile. But then you look at Wiseman. I think those three, if I'm, you know, in a war room, I'm looking at those three. They kind of fit different positions. Which one do we need the most? That's what it comes down to. I don't think there's a clear-cut number one. And I think you are just so enamored and in love, infatuated, and all the other words.
Spencer told me I couldn't bring this up, but Ball in the Family, the Ball family's reality show came out on Sunday, a new season, and LaMelo's been working hard in Detroit, which I was happy to hear. It was kind of rumored, is he in Detroit? Is he in LA and Chino? He's been in Detroit working, so I think that bodes well for him. But that's enough LaMelo talk for me today.
All right, then let's do this. So today, like I said, folks, it's a very important episode because it's a lot less about me and Tom talking about whatever the hell we just talked about for 30 minutes and more about the man we are bringing on right now, a 17-year-old kid who's about to make a huge decision in where he's going to college. Let's bring on Skyy Clark, my guy. So what have you been up to, Skyy? Let's run down, you know, the past couple weeks or a couple months, because obviously it's been a crazy time for everybody with COVID and all this madness. But you've made, you know, a couple big moves, like physical moves and stuff in your life. Tell me, walk me through, you know, what the last few months have looked like.
Well, just recently moved to Tennessee from California, and you know, it's been a really smooth move out here. From the NBA open runs to now we're starting school on campus, and hopefully the season still is a go for middle of November. But yeah, no, it's been super smooth. Just been trying to get better every single day.
You mentioned the NBA runs. Who are some of the guys you got to work out with down there? I know that there was a couple of great guys on the court with you.
Darius Garland, Rob Covington, Ian Clark, Mookie Betts even got in there.
Hold on. What? The baseball player?
Yeah, he was in the open runs too. Me and him was going. He can actually play. His defense is stupid. But yeah, his defense is like that. And there's a whole bunch of pros though, overseas, NBA, college. It was competitive the whole entire time. Jordan Bone was another one of them too.
Oh, Jordan Bone from Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think my freshman year, pretty sure we got waxed by 40 at their play.
Wait, the Mookie Betts thing is insane. That guy was like, he's just during quarantine before they went. He's in the World Series right now, right?
I know, yeah.
He's worth $1 billion.
Yeah,
The guy is like a
crazy right now.
So, but he can actually hoop. Mookie Betts can actually hoop. Is that what I'm hearing?
Like he got a jump shot and everything. Like he can actually.
Really? Like
Yeah.
if you walked into a gym, didn't know who Mookie Betts was, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, that dude's just trash." Like, why is he ain't like he can actually?
Nah. You would actually be like, because his defense, he got like Pat Bev defense. He got quick feet.
I love that. The guy's worth literally has like a $500 million contract that he's locking up and pick up. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Wait, talk to me about DG, because obviously he's probably the biggest name of all those guys in the NBA. I feel like you guys have like similar game. Where'd that relationship start, and like what's he told you and said to you about the league and just basketball in general?
It started when I played for Strive for Greatness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we built.
He's with LeBron, right?
Yeah, we built a relationship over there, but once I moved out here, it just strengthened, and that's like my big brother now. He's been gone obviously with the Cavs, but when he was here, we was working out every single day and just trying to push each other.
That's crazy. It seems like you've almost had better. I mean, there's a lot of talent out in California, but would you say you've had more like connections in terms of high level pros and stuff like that in Tennessee so far than you had out in California?
Yeah, I would say so. I knew some like Gilbert Arenas. That's
Yep.
like my uncle. I actually knew him before I even started playing basketball. But I knew some really good hoopers out there. And then Rico Hines, he has his open runs out there at UCLA, and I went there a few times, and it's trust me.
How good are those Rico Hines runs?
We say?
How good are those Rico Hines runs?
Oh, those are probably the best runs, because you got to think they had Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Russell, Harden, LaMelo.
You were in that one, or you just saw that?
Nah, I was in a different one. I went twice, I think, and then one of them, I think both of them, it was only like 3-on-3 full court. It wasn't many people.
So we were talking about Rico Hines runs, and you said those are some of the most competitive. You talk KD, Kyrie, like everybody's in those. How do they exactly work? I'm assuming it's got to be invite only. Like they're not going to let Tom come in and play, right?
I gotta come at me.
You're the only other one that you move, Tom. Sorry.
It's invite only for yeah, but I think they play it's a 7-game 1s and 2s, and then whoever hits the game-winning shot, you got to make a free throw to seal the deal. If you miss a free throw, you go back down 1 point and then keep playing until someone gets 7.
And it's awesome. A little bit more controlled, right, than just like roll the ball out. Like he's got like shot clock. I hear guys counting down at all times and stuff like that. Yeah. They want, tempo and stuff. They don't have you guys doing any kind of like ball screen continuity or anything. Just like you can do whatever, right, offensively.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get out of control. But yeah, it's a 15-second shot clock once you get past half court, I think. And that's the same thing we did out here in Nashville for our open runs. Same as that. Sometimes we went to 11, depending on how many people were there. And then you had to make a free throw, and then it was 15-second shot clock once you pass half court.
Nice. You like country music, Skyy? You're in the land of country music now.
Yeah, no, I've been on country music since I was a jit.
No. Okay. Give me your favorite country artist. I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. We don't play around here. You got a favorite country artist?
I like Luke Combs. I like Old Dominion. Old Dominion, I love a lot. They got a lot of great songs.
Luke Combs, you're speaking my language right now. Okay.
So, dang, Eric Church. I love Eric Church. Yes.
Hey, you just passed that one with flying colors. You passed that one with flying colors. Eric Church.
There's an underrated.
Listen to country music.
What happened?
Tom,
Jordan, do you listen to country? I think my internet just went out. But Jordan, do you listen to country?
Because you were like this.
You were just staring.
You saw that too, right, Skyy? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah, Tom, I do listen to country music. It's funny, Skyy, that you throw Eric Church out there. He was like the first person I ever listened to. There's a song called Homeboy, and it was probably 8 years ago when I first heard it, and he got me hooked on country music. And now Luke Combs is 100% like my favorite. That's funny. That's dope.
I got introduced to Eric Church on Wrecking Ball, and so if you know, you know.
Okay, I know. That's big time, bro. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna come down to Nashville and we'll go. What's the place to be in Nashville, Tom? Do you know? Like, there's like a street, right, or something? No.
I have absolutely no idea.
Downtown Nash is cool. That's where all like the open bars and stuff with
Yeah,
live
big
music is.
strip, right?
Yeah, that's the place you want to be because if you just out here, like, there's really not much to do besides go
You
to
do
Sonic.
do you want to start a country music like band, me and you, and like
I'm
Tom
down.
and like Tom can just stand in the back and like play a banjo or
I
like
can
hit
sing.
like. No, you can't. Me and Sky are gonna sing. Okay.
Yes, I
Uh,
got some boots in the closet.
You said what?
I got some. I probably got some cowboy boots in the closet.
Like legit cowboy boots?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. So you were ready for Nashville. You were ready to
Yes,
get out of California. You're ready for
sir.
Nashville.
Yes,
That's
sir.
dope. That's dope. Let's get into the real big reason that you're on the show right now is you got a big decision coming up tomorrow, right?
Yes,
How
sir.
long how long have you kind of felt that you've known, or do you even know where you're going? Because some people kind of play it like they just commit on the spot. They're like, I'll figure it out when I get there. Other people are like, man, I've known since I started my recruiting process. Talk about that whole thing and where you're at mentally right now.
Now, yeah, I'm very confident in the place I've chose, and so yeah. Can I say it?
all
No,
right, wait.
hold on.
Let's set it this way. I've had a lot of fun with the
Let's do this
country music and every.
clean. Go ahead, Tom.
I've had fun with the country music, and I do want to get more into. Am I cutting out?
Nah, you good.
No.
I bet. I've had fun with the country music, and I do want to hear more about all the different people you learn from the DGs, the LeBrons, and everything in the world. But you are obviously here. Big decision that you're going to announce. You're a junior right now. You just changed schools. You just moved from LA to Tennessee. A lot of big things happening for you. You are literally like overtime's dude. Like anyone that knows how hard we were rooting for Tyler Hero in the NBA Finals, like we were just as hard for Skyy Clark, anything he does. So it's all you. What are you gonna be doing in 2 years from now when you go to college?
I will be.
Oh, there it is.
Wow,
Yes, sir.
is that Big Blue Nation?
Yes, sir.
Hey, can we get some speakers in here and play the Dre song? I Rock Kentucky Blue. Hey, hold on. I'm excited for you. You didn't pick West Virginia. They weren't even in your top five.
They
I
already
would
got a
love to
point
play.
guard.
And yeah, they already got a great point guard. They already got a great point guard.
But you got 2 years left. I got 2 years. I'll be out of here. Hey, but I am very excited for you. It's not my school, not my colors, but I know how much that means to you. I know you're excited. What are you feeling right now? How excited are you? You wishing these next 2 years go by quick? Are you ready to get into Lexington?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready. The city, they've shown nothing but love from the fans to the coaches to the players, even players aren't even there anymore. But yeah, and I'm super excited and relieved because us Hoopers know that recruiting process. It's fun in the beginning, but near the end, it starts to get a little too much.
Yeah, talk about that. Like you kind of gone back. I feel like you've had your list and you cut it down. You added some schools. Well, your final list was what? UCLA, Kentucky, obviously, North Carolina. And there was a fourth school, right?
Memphis.
Got it. So, yeah, talk about like what these last few months have been like as you like came to the decision. How long ago did you lock in on Kentucky, thinking that was the spot?
Well, it's always been back and forth between Gonzaga, UNC, Kentucky, Memphis, and UCLA. Those are like the main five. I never got a official scholarship from Gonzaga, but they actually recruited me the hardest. But yeah, no, I feel like the last 3 weeks I've just been praying about it, and I really felt like Kentucky was the best spot for me as a player and as a person. And then like after watching the bubble as well, just seeing all the Kentucky players, I don't think there was one Kentucky player that didn't go to work. And so there's just they breed NBA players.
Yeah, we talked about that a ton on the podcast here. Like AD, Jamal Murray, Devin Booker, like the list goes just on and on and on. Of course, like our guys, Tyler Hero, Jordan grew up with him and Overtime's been following him forever. him specifically, like seeing him and knowing that he went through the Kentucky process. He was like he's probably the youngest guy who's really killing it in the league from Kentucky. What was seeing him do so well in the playoffs, and how did that impact your decision at all?
Now that was huge because I mean, Jordan could probably attest to this. Like, I always loved Tyler. I've been watching Tyler since high school, and but I don't think anybody really expected him to do what he did in the playoffs, especially being so young, and it was first playoff experience. But just seeing that, it like really like just further grew my love for what they do, for what Kentucky does.
Do you have a favorite Kentucky alum? Sorry, one more. Do you have a favorite Kentucky alum?
I love Tyler. Tyler Ewis was tough.
Yeah, he's tough.
I like Tyler. I love Jamal Murray, Ashton Hagen, and Emmanuel. And then I said Tyler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Those are like the main ones.
You got a long list to choose from with that school right there. But talk to me. You know, biggest thing for me when I was coming into my recruiting process. First of all, congratulations, Skyy. Really happy that you chose, to even come on here and do this for us. So really, really happy for you. But like you said, kind of a weight just lifted off your shoulders, right? Mm-hmm. When I look back in terms of what I'm thinking about when I choose West Virginia, it comes down to like two things for me. It comes down to culture and coaches. Yep. So culture at West Virginia is, we play extremely hard. We're going to try to outwork everybody in the country. And Coach Hugs is everything, just like I said, he embodies the culture. What would you say, Calipari, how did he strike you? Did he say anything specifically? Did you see anything on visits? Did you hear anything from, past guys that really cemented it for you? Like, yeah, I need to wear, Kentucky blue.
Yeah. It was a lot of things. Like you said, coaching and culture, those like the two main things. And then also another big thing for me is like how the fan base like welcomes me. And when I dropped my top 4, I gave like each school like their own post on Twitter, and Kentucky got the most love, and that was a huge thing for me as well. And but just everybody knows Coach Cal, like his record and what he does with his players and how he uses his guards. And also just talking to past UK players and even current UK players, because Devin asked you who's there right now. I watched him since I've known him since he was in 8th grade. I was in 6th grade.
Yeah, he's a Cali boy too, right?
Yeah, we've came up together. But just talking to them, and then talking to me and Coach Justice, the assistant coach, we built an amazing relationship over the last year or two.
Joel Justice, yeah, big time coach, and I've heard nothing but good things from Tyler, as well as it's funny, he was a high school coach for our video coordinator, who is now a head coach. I know that's a lot to follow, but he was at West Virginia. This kid was at West Virginia before me, and we've become really good friends. And he talks about Joel being a huge influence in his basketball life and his development. So really excited. Know you picked a great spot. But do you have any like personal experience? So when you think back to visits and stuff like that, did you get a chance to kind of sit down with Cal? What's his kind of message to you as an incoming guard, who he's had a lot of success with at that position, at pretty much every position? But what is he kind of talking to you about in terms of what your outlook should be in the next 2 years here?
I want to take more visits, but since COVID, I've only taken 2 unofficials, and my first one was to UCLA, and the second one was to Kentucky. And I sat down in person with Coach Cal, and we just talked, and he was telling me about his past players and stuff. And then he was just telling me, what I love about him is he keeps it real. He doesn't try to sugarcoat anything. And he says, you're not guaranteed a starting spot or nothing. He said, but if you work hard and you play defense and you give it everything you got, then you're going to do just fine here. And that's me. Whatever I do, I try to give it 110%, and I'm always working hard on and off the court. So I just feel like me and Coach Cal, we just have similar personalities in that aspect.
Does Coach Cal already know that you're committing, or is he finding out right now like everyone else?
Oh no, he already knows.
What was that conversation like? Finally
I'm gonna trick them tonight. I'm gonna call Coach Justice or Coach Cal. I'm be like, yeah, I'm gonna reopen my decision. Mess with him.
Hey,
What was it like
knock
telling
out
him?
part. Do that to Joel.
Yeah, no, I definitely gotta get Joe. What'd you say, Tom?
What was it like the conversation when you finally told him? Is that just like a phone call? How does that work?
No, it was on a it was our last Zoom call we had with them, and I just broke the news. I felt super comfortable. My family felt super comfortable, and I just felt like this place God was leading me.
Jordan, how did you do yours with West Virginia? I feel like I've never heard that from you.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that. I well, I verbally committed. Over the phone. I was like leaving. Like I just went to a work. I was just working out like every other day. Finished like a shooting workout and didn't tell my mom. Didn't tell my dad. Didn't tell anybody. I was just finishing my sophomore year. We just got off a state championship my sophomore year, and Coach Martin, who recruited me here to WVU, hadn't kind of heard from me in a little while, but he was kind of starting to push the whole, hey, if you ever feel comfortable pulling the trigger, we're ready for you. I got done with a workout and just like kind of felt it in my gut. I have like a terrible impulse, like with things like this. And I just called him. I said, hey coach, how does Wednesday sound for a commitment? He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to commit this Wednesday. I'm going to announce it publicly, but I want you and Hugs to know that I'm on my way. And he was like, okay, let me get up from the dinner table. I had no idea we were even going to talk tonight, but that's how it went. Then I told my parents, and my mom's like, okay, I guess he's going to West Virginia. So it's kind of like an impulse, but you kind of, Skyy knows this. Once you really get around the fan base of, like, for me, West Virginia, for him, Kentucky, and you get around the culture of the program itself, it all comes together and you just get this kind of click moment. And I'm assuming that's what you had too, Skyy.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Did you have to do like Zoom visits? This is my question now for you guys that are like coming in as like recruits to different places.
Mm-hmm.
My class and the class even after me got to do the normal show up, get a flight out there. They get to pay for your stuff, anything like that. Have you done a Zoom visit yet?
No, I've done they like send like a it's weird. They send like a Google Maps thing, and then like you just click on the link, and then you click on certain destinations. It'll take you like a look at the weight room or the gym or whatever. It was weird. It was weird.
With Coach Cal, obviously Roy Williams never saw you play. When did Coach Cal first see you and start talking to you about coming to Kentucky? Is that like an AAU event?
Yeah, Coach Cal. I think it was at Peach Jam. Or no, the first time was at Atlanta, that first EYBL session, and then I believe he watched me at Peach Jam as well. And then after that, I don't think he got to come see me, but Coach Joel saw me a whole lot and had a lot of film on me, and Coach Cal watched that. Yeah, Coach Joel came and saw me, I believe, like 2 or 3 times for workouts.
Did a lot of your recruitment come from that AAU season with Strive for Greatness? Obviously, you guys were kind of like the biggest thing on the AAU map. You, Bronny, Dior, Devontae. Like, is that where a lot of your recruitment came from?
Surprisingly, I believe that's what really started it, but I didn't really start getting offers till till sophomore year. I got a few my freshman year. But yeah, sophomore year is when it really started taking off.
That's big time. Hey, I don't want to take it off Kentucky either, but so everything me and you made a connection for the first time. I had been watching you, from afar, seeing videos. It's hard not to, and just being like, man, this dude can play, right? And we finally got to reach out during, all the social injustice and the unrest that kind of ensued a couple months ago. But talk to me a little bit about some of the things that you've done, and where the ideas came from. Was it mom, dad? Was it just all right off the top of your head that you wanted to do this and just took action? Were there people that helped you out? because the things that you've done in your community as a, what are you, 16, 17, 18?
17.
You're 17 years old and you're doing stuff that, you know, people at 40 don't even think of because they're so kind of just wrapped up in themselves. My favorite thing about you, Skyy, before I let you just talk about all the great things you do, is the fact that, yeah, you can hoop, but you're completely like just comfortable with who you are on the court, off the court, and like just the little things. Some guys are so egotistical and, you know, wrapped up in themselves that they won't even really give the respect to another guy who they know who can hoop. You know what I mean? You've met those players along the way who
Yeah.
have this weird, I don't know, it's got to be just like narcissism, ego, whatever, and think that you can't acknowledge other, you know, talent or hoopers or whatever. And you don't do that. You did it with me. You said, like, I watched videos of you growing up. Most guys wouldn't even say that because they're too like afraid or whatever, but you're so comfortable in your own ability and everything else. That's why I connected with you immediately. So appreciate you for everything you're doing on the court, off the court. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, what you've been up to.
I know. Thank you, bro. Hey, funny thing is, actually, my jump shot, I actually tried mimicking yours. That's
Oh,
why,
yeah.
because I used to shoot like Lonzo. I used to shoot on this side, and when I started watching your film, I brought it to this side. But that's
Well,
just
I've been mimicking Steph, so we're all right under the. I'm trying to mimic Steph's shot. It's like molding something. You know how it works. You know how it works.
yeah. But nah, um, I've been to a few protests, and then I organized a cleanup after the first protest I went to, and then I couldn't have done it without the help of. What you
Where?
say?
Sorry, where was the first one? Was it? Were you in California at the time or Nashville?
I was in Nashville.
Okay.
Mhm.
You went to one and then organized a cleanup.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without the help of my AAG crew, Coach Jamal, Coach Spencer, Rob, Davis, Mookie was there, and yeah, no, I could have done without the help of them. And then a whole bunch of people actually came to the cleanup. It was probably like 30, 40 people, and I was expecting like just the people I knew. But that was a beautiful thing. And then we took photos with the cops, and they brought us donuts and stuff. It was a really dope moment. And then I organized a Heal Our Nation prayer event and at Otter Creek Church, and I couldn't have done that without the help of AAG crew as well. Also, Pastor Josh. Shout out to my guy, Pastor Josh. And that was a beautiful event too. I think around 700 people showed up to that one, and that was just an amazing night. But just for me, like you said, like there's just a lot of hoopers out there that just have these huge egos and stuff, and you know, that just always like wrapped up in themselves. And I always say like, I know the grind and I know what it means, like hard work, and I know you do too. And like just showing respect to people that are working hard. I mean, it's just, you never know what people are going through, and just sometimes like a text message or something could just lift up their spirits or something. So I'm always texting my friends, always texting other hoopers saying like go out there, be great and stuff like that. And then the giving back to the community is a huge thing for me. I give all the credit to God and my parents for the kid I've grown to be so far. Just one of my biggest goals when I make it to the league is to build like a super nice facility in like low income areas and like Compton and Inglewood and even some in New York. But I got to get back to my hometown first.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, just giving back to communities is huge for me. That's one thing I want to do.
I mean, the impact that you're gonna have, Skyy, is unbelievable, and I can promise you that no matter what happens, and something that I've learned even over my short 2-year span of college basketball is on the court stuff is great, but your impact off the court, and you know this already because I can see you, you know, putting it to work. Your impact off the court is what is going to, you know, leave your legacy generations to come, and you're talking about leaving, you know, physical evidence of the impact that you've had. So really, really cool that we got, you know, you to jump on the pod, and hopefully you can be, if Cal allows it, even though we're going to be in competition here in a few years, if he allows it, love you to be a returning guest, because we want to kind of hear about your story the next 2 years, and then getting on campus in Lexington and all that, because If people, that listen to our show weren't following you, they will be following you now, man. There's nobody who doesn't like Skyy Clark. I promise. And
That's true.
I don't want to be friends with them. So get the fuck out of here if you don't like Skyy Clark. I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. I really do. Tom, you got anything more?
Nah, I mean, you hit it on the head, man. Skyy, you might have the highest approval rating of any player we've ever worked with. Jordan is on the opposite side. He had a lot of haters when he was in high school. I think he's turning them now that he's got his podcast on here, and people are seeing that, he's smart and a normal person. But Skyy, I mean, you've impacted overtime as a whole. Honestly, we've started to do some of our own stuff, trying to get involved in the community, and honestly, it's seeing players like you and Jordan who have done stuff in their own right. It's made us want to be better as a company. So I just want to say thank you and congratulations, man. You're going to Kentucky. That is like, I keep thinking back on all the players that have been there and like all the NBA dudes and like not just NBA dudes, like good people. And you got a really good future ahead of you. I know you still got some time left before you even head there. So enjoy these next couple of years before you hit the big time.
I would, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much, y'all.
All right, Skyy, stay in touch, bro. Appreciate you coming on. Everybody, that was Skyy Clark. Make sure you go follow him on all socials, as well as Subject to Change, myself, and Overtime Tom. We'll be back next week with another episode. Stay tuned and find out who the guest is. It's going to be hard to top with this one. Skyy, appreciate you, bro. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, see y'all.